Lakeland, Florida. Lakeland is a city in Polk County, Florida, along Interstate 4 east of Tampa. The westernmost city in Polk County, it is part of the Tampa Bay Area. According to the 2013 U.S. Census Bureau estimate, the city had a population of 100,710. Lakeland is a principal city of the Lakeland Haven Metropolitan Statistical Area, which had an estimated population of 623,009 in July 2013 based on data from the University of Florida Bureau of Economic and Business Research. It is twinned with Richmond Hill, Ontario, Imabari, Ehime, Japan, Bălți, Moldova, Portmore, Jamaica, and Chongming County, Shanghai, China through the Lakeland chapter of Sister Cities International. Native Americans began to live in the area 12,000 years ago. European American settlers arrived in Lakeland from South Carolina in the 1870s. The city expanded in the 1880s with the arrival of rail service, with the first freedmen railway workers settling here in 1883. They and European immigrants also came because of new jobs in the large phosphate industry that developed. Lakeland is home to the 1,267-acre Circle B Bar Reserve. The first Paleo-Indians reached the central Florida area near the end of the last ice age, as they followed big game south. As the ice melted and sea levels rose, these Native Americans ended up staying and thrived on the peninsula for thousands of years. By the time the first Spanish conquistadors arrived, more than 250,000 Native Americans were living on the peninsula. Some of those first early tribes were the Tucabago, Timucua, and Calusa. In 1527, a Spanish map showed a settlement near the Rio de la Paz. The arrival of the Spanish turned out to be disastrous to these Native American tribes. Within 150 years, the majority of the pre-Columbian Native American peoples of Florida had been wiped out. Those who had not succumbed to diseases such as smallpox or yellow fever were either killed or enslaved. Little is left of these first Native Americans' cultures in Polk County except for scant archaeological records, including a few personal artifacts and shell mounds. Eventually, the remnants of these tribes merged with the Creek Indians who had arrived from the north and became the Seminole Indian tribe. Florida became a state in 1845, and Polk County was established in 1861. After the American Civil War, the county seat was established southeast of Lakeland in Bartow. While most of Polk County's early history centered on the two cities of Bartow and Fort Meade, eventually, people entered the areas in northern Polk County and began settling in the areas which became Lakeland. Lakeland was first settled in the 1870s and began to develop as the rail lines reached the area in 1884. Freedmen settled here in 1883, starting development of what became the African American neighborhood of Moorhead. Lakeland was incorporated January 1, 1885. The town was founded by Abraham Munn, who purchased 80 acres of land in what is now downtown Lakeland in 1882 and platted the land for the town in 1884. Lakeland was named for the many lakes near the town site. In April 1898, the Spanish-American War began and started a crucial point in Lakeland's development. While the war ended quickly and had little effect on most of the nation, the Florida Peninsula was used as a launching point for military forces in the war. The then small town of Lakeland housed over 9,000 troops. The Florida boom resulted in the construction of many significant structures in Lakeland, a number of which are now listed on the National Register of Historic Places. This list includes the Terrace Hotel, New Florida Hotel, Polk Theater, Francis Langford Promenade, Polk Museum of Art, Park Trammell Building, and others. The city also has several historic districts that have many large buildings built during the 1920s and 1940s. The Cleveland Indians held spring training there from 1923 to 1927 at Henley Field Ballpark. Parks were developed surrounding Lake Mirror, including Barnett Children's Park, Hollis Gardens, and the newest, Alan Krieger Park. The boom period went bust quickly, and years passed before the city recovered. Part of the reemergence was due to the arrival of the Detroit Tigers baseball team in 1934 for spring training. The Tigers still train at Lakeland's Joker Martin Stadium and own the city's Class A Florida State League team, the Lakeland Flying Tigers. In the mid-1930s, the Works Progress Administration built the Lakeland Municipal Airport. In 1938, Florida Southern College President Lud Spivey invited architect Frank Lloyd Wright to design a great education temple in Florida. Wright worked on the project for over 20 years as Spivey found ways to fund it and find construction workers during World War II. Wright's original plan called for 18 structures. In total he designed 30, but only 12 were completed. Wright's textile block motif is used extensively on the campus. The concrete blocks he used are in need of restoration. Wright titled the project Child of the Sun, describing his Florida Southern buildings as being out of the ground, into the light, a child of the sun. It is the largest single-site collection of Frank Lloyd Wright buildings in the world, and attracts 30,000 visitors each year. In 1975, the Florida Southern Architectural District was added to the National Register of Historic Places. In 2012, Wright's campus was designated as a National Historic Landmark by the National Park Service. At the beginning of World War II, the Lakeland School of Aeronautics, headquartered at the recently built Lakeland Municipal Airport, became part of a nationwide network of civilian flight schools enjoined for the war effort by the United States Army Air Corps. Between 1940 and 1945, more than 8,000 Army Air Corps and Army Air Forces cadets trained on two-seater Stearman PT-17 and PT-13 biplanes at the school. From June 1941 until October 1942, 1,327 British Royal Air Force cadets trained at the Lakeland facility. The Lodwick School of Aeronautics closed in 1945. The airport ceased flight operations in the 1960s. The site has since then housed the Detroit Tigers Tigertown Baseball Complex. According to the United States Census Bureau, the city has an area of 67 square miles, of which 45.84 square miles is land and 5.61 square miles is covered by water. Lakeland is within the central Florida Highlands area of the Atlantic coastal plain, with a terrain consisting of flatland interspersed with gently rolling hills. The dominant feature in Lakeland is the city's many lakes. 38 lakes are named, with a number of other bodies of water unnamed, mostly phosphate mine pits that eventually filled with water. The largest of these is Lake Parker, which is 2,550 acres in size. Much of the culture of Lakeland revolves around its many lakes, and many people use the lakes as reference points in much the same way people in other towns use streets as reference points, such as I live near Lake Beulah. In addition to Lake Parker, some of the more prominent lakes in the Lakeland area are Lake Hollingsworth, Lake Morton, Lake Mirror, and Lake Gibson. Swans are one of the most visible features on the lakes of Lakeland. They have a long history, the first swans appearing around 1923. By 1954, the swans were gone, eradicated by alligators and pets. A Lakeland resident who mourned the passing of the swans wrote to Queen Elizabeth. The royal family allowed the capture of 2 of the royal swans, and the swans now on the lakes of Lakeland are the descendants of the royal swans sent by the Queen. In July 2006, Scott Lake, one of the city's lakes, was almost totally drained by a cluster of sinkholes. The lake later partially refilled. Lakeland, like most other parts of Florida north of Lake Okeechobee, is in the humid subtropical zone. Typically, summers are hot and humid with high temperatures seldom dropping below 90 degrees Fahrenheit and 70 degrees Fahrenheit for the overnight low. Like most of central Florida, afternoon thunderstorms are the norm throughout the summer. Winters in Lakeland are drier and mild, with frequent sunny skies. High temperatures range in the low 70s during the day, with lows in the 50s. Rare cold snaps drop temperatures below freezing every few years. Lakeland is governed by a 6-member city council. 4 members are elected from single-member districts, the other 2 are elected at large, requiring them to gain a majority of the votes. The mayor is elected. The city of Lakeland was incorporated on January 1, 1885. The mayor is one of 7 members of the city commission, acting as the board chair and performing mostly ceremonial and procedural duties beyond the powers of the other 6. Prior to 1988, the city commission selected Lakeland's mayor from among its members. Mayors can be on the board for up to 12 years in a lifetime, or 16 years in combination with holding a regular commission position. Since 1988, the mayor has been elected by the city's voters. In 2009, Gow Fields was the first African-American mayor to be elected as the city's mayor. Lakeland made national headlines on September 28, 2006, when Polk County Sheriff's Deputy Vernon Matt Williams and his K-9 partner Diogi were shot and killed after a routine traffic stop in the Wabash area of Lakeland. More than 500 police officers from a variety of law enforcement agencies joined in a search for Angelo Freeland, suspected of murdering Williams and stealing his gun. Freeland was found hiding in a rural area the next morning. 9 officers from 5 different law enforcement agencies surrounded Freeland and shot him when he raised Williams' stolen gun at them. A total of 110 shots were fired, and Freeland was hit 68 times, killing him instantly. Multiple investigations concluded the officer's use of force was justified. Deputy Williams and Diogi were laid to rest on October 3, 2006, after a funeral that included a 1-hour and 45-minute procession to Auburndale. On December 18, 2011, Lakeland police officer Arnulfo Crispin was shot and killed after he stopped 5 young men while on a routine patrol. Crispin was 25 years old, and an 18-month veteran of the force. Kyle Williams was convicted of the killing and sentenced to life in prison. The Lakeland Police Department is recognized as having one of the best-trained canine units in the United States. At the annual USPCA Police Dog Field Trials, the largest competition of police dogs in the United States, Lakeland Police Dog Knox took first place in 2015, Bruno took first place in 2012 and 2013, and Sharif took second place in 2009 and 2011. In October 2010, Officer Ron Haynes was arrested and charged with negligence for having left a weapon in a car with 2 young boys. One of the children found a gun and shot the other boy in the hand. Officer Haynes was suspended with pay after his arrest. In June 2011, Sergeant Stephen Seeley was suspended from the department for reportedly interfering with the investigation of Police Lieutenant Ralph Schrader. Schrader had been convicted in January 2010 of stalking his ex-wife. In July 2013, the county prosecutor released a report that revealed an extraordinary amount of sexual conduct that was committed both on duty and off duty with a single woman. As a result of the report, an assistant chief of the department retired while 5 officers were placed on various forms of modified duty. Had these members of your department been more focused on the important responsibilities of law enforcement, rather than pursuing sexual encounters with a civilian analyst, LPD might not be in the condition it is today, the report concluded. Sergeants Rusty Longaberger and David Wolverton were fired for conduct unbecoming, failure to report misconduct, and neglect of duty. In late January 2014, the state attorney's office investigated hiring practices in the department due to allegations of improper handling of the 2012 job application of the nephew of Chief Lisa Womack. The chief had already announced she would leave her position on May 1, 2014. She was placed on administrative leave in January 2014. As of 2010, 48,218 households were in the city, with 15.5% being vacant. As of 2000, 23.5% had children under the age of 18 living with him, 43.5% were married couples living together, 13.7% had a female householder with no husband present, and 39% were individuals in non-traditional families. About 32.9% of all households were made up of individuals, and 14.9% had someone living alone who was 65 years of age or older. The average household size was 2.23 and the average family size was 2.82. As of the 2010 census, the city was 20.9% Black or African American, 70.8% white, 0.3% Native American, 1.8% Asian, 0.1% Native Hawaiian, and 2.7% were 2 or more races. 12.6% of the population were of Hispanic or Latino ancestry. In 2000, the population was spread out with 21.4% under the age of 18, 10.3% from 18 to 24, 24.7% from 25 to 44, 20.6% from 45 to 64, and 23.0% who were 65 years of age or older. The median age was 40 years. For every 100 females, there were 86.8 males. For every 100 females age 18 and over, there were 82.1 males. In 2000, the median income for a household in the city was $16,119, and for a family was $17,468. Males had a median income of $14,137 versus $9,771 for females. The per capita income for the city was $15,760. About 47% of families and 35% of the population were below the poverty line, including 97% of those under age 18 and 9% of those age 65 or over. In 2008 to 2012, the per capita income was $23,817 and the median household income was $40,284. Persons below the poverty line in 2008 to 2012 were 17.5% according to the U.S. Census. As of 2000, Those who spoke only English at home accounted for 91% of all residents, while 9% spoke other languages at home. The most significant were Spanish speakers who made up 6.4% of the population, while German came up as the third most spoken language, which made up 0.8%, and French was fourth, with 0.5% of the population. In 1913, the Wolfson family arrived from Lithuania and became the first Jewish settlers to the area. After some struggles, the Jewish community in Lakeland flourished and the first synagogue, Temple Emmanuel, opened in 1932. The Rohr Jewish Learning Institute presents classes and seminars in Lakewood in partnership with Chabad of Lakeland. Lakeland is home to one of the first Hindu temples in the United States, the Swami Narayan Hindu Temple. In 1994, the first and only mosque was established. It was called Masjid Aisha, but is now called the Islamic Center of Lakeland. It was remodeled in 2011. It is on the corner of Providence and Orange Blossom. Christianity makes up the largest religious group in Lakeland. As of 2013, an estimated 300 churches existed with an address in the city. Lakeland is the largest city on Interstate 4 between Orlando and Tampa. Large industries in the Lakeland area are citrus, cattle, and phosphate mining. In the past few decades, tourism, medicine, insurance, transportation, and music have grown in importance. Citrus growing dates back to the early settlers who planted trees in the area in the 1850s. After a series of freezes in counties north of Polk County, the area became the focal point for citrus growing in Florida. Although citrus is no longer the largest industry in the area, it still plays a large part in the economy of Lakeland and Polk County. Phosphate mining is still important to the economy of Lakeland, although most of the mining now takes place further south. The Bone Valley produced 25% of the U.S. phosphate supply. Lakeland's largest employer is Publix Supermarkets. Publix is one of the largest regional grocery chains in the United States with over 1,000 stores across the American South. Publix employs over 6,500 people in the Lakeland area, including headquarter and warehouse employees. Lakeland is a transportation hub. FedEx Freight and FedEx Services and the Saddle Creek Corporation employ over 600 people in the area. Other large employers in the area include Amazon, Geico, Rooms to Go, and Lakeland Regional Medical Center. Polk County is within the Tampa Bay television market. Charter Spectrum is the cable television franchise serving Lakeland, which offers most television stations from the Tampa Bay market, as well as WFTV, the ABC affiliate from Orlando. WUR TV, an independent television station, is licensed to Lakeland, with its studios in Tampa and its transmitter in Riverview. Lakeland and Polk County are within its own radio market. Local radio stations include WLLD 94.1 FM is licensed to Lakeland, but has wider focus on the Tampa Bay area, with studios in St. Petersburg. WKES 91.1 FM is also licensed to Lakeland as part of the statewide Moody Radio Florida network, with studios in Seminole, near St. Petersburg. Most major stations from Tampa Bay and a few from Orlando are also available. Print media include The Ledger, a local newspaper owned by Halifax Media Group. Patterson Jacobs Media Group publishes a magazine, The Lakelander. In 1990, Lakeland made its Hollywood debut when the Southgate Shopping Center was featured in the movie Edward Scissorhands. It was also used in the filming of the Judd Nelson movie Endure. Classrooms from Florida Southern College were used in the Adam Sandler comedy, The Waterboy. Because Lakeland is the largest city on Interstate 4 between Tampa and Orlando, the city is an important transportation hub. The county nickname, Imperial Polk County, was coined because a large bond issue in 1914 enabled wide roads between the cities of Polk County. The important freeways and highways in Lakeland today are. In recent years, the Lakeland area has developed a number of paved, multi-use bicycle routes, including the Lake to Lakes Trail, which runs from Lake Parker through downtown, past several lakes, ending at Lake John. Other routes include University Trail, which connects Polk State College to Florida Polytechnic University, and the Fort Fraser Trail, which runs along U.S. Highway 98 from Polk State College to Highway 60 in Bartow. The 28 elementary schools, 7 middle schools, 5 traditional high schools, and 3 magnet choice high schools in the Lakeland area are run by the Polk County School Board. A number of opportunities exist for higher education around the Lakeland area. Southeastern University is the largest university in the area, with an enrollment around 2,800. Southeastern is affiliated with the Assemblies of God. Florida Southern College, established in 1883 and with a current enrollment of just over 2,000, is on Lake Hollingsworth. Florida Southern is the home of the world's largest single-site collection of Frank Lloyd Wright architecture. In July 2008, the University of South Florida's Lakeland campus was granted partial autonomy by Governor Charlie Crist and became Florida Polytechnic University. Florida Polytechnic is just inside the Lakeland's northeast border at the intersection of I-4 and Polk Parkway. They also have some administrative offices on the campus of Polk State College on Winter Lake Road. FL Poly is focused on STEM degree programs, such as engineering and computer science. Both Everest University and Kaiser University, two multi-site, accredited universities, have locations in Lakeland. Travis Career Center is a vocational school. Webster University offers on-site, regionally accredited graduate degree programs in business and counseling at their Lakeland Metropolitan campus. Joker Marchant Stadium, north of downtown, hosts spring training for the Detroit Tigers, as well as their Lakeland Flying Tigers Class A Florida State League and GCL Tigers Rookie League Gulf Coast League minor league baseball teams. RP Funding Center is also home to 3 indoor sports teams. The Lakeland Magic is a basketball team playing in the NBA G League and is an affiliate of the Orlando Magic. The Florida Tarpons is an indoor football team playing in the American Arena League after relocating from Estero, Florida. The Florida Tropics SC is an indoor soccer team playing in the Major Arena Soccer League. The Tropics organization also operates an outdoor team, the Lakeland Tropics, which competes in the Premier Development League. In the 1980s, the Lakeland Center briefly played host to the indoor version of the Tampa Bay Rowdies soccer team. The Lakeland Center has also hosted a few hockey teams, the Lakeland Ice Warriors, the Lakeland Prowlers, and the Lakeland Loggerheads. The United States Basketball League once had a team here as well called the Lakeland Blue Ducks. Sun and Fun was home to Lakeland's only roller derby league, the Lakeland Derby Dames. However, the team was dissolved in November 2015. The Lakeland Center also hosts the Florida High School Athletic Association's state basketball finals. Lakeland Sister Cities International, a chapter of Sister Cities International, was formed in 1990 with Lakeland's first sister city Richmond Hill, Canada. Lakeland's first sister city Richmond Hill, Canada. Lakeland's first sister city Richmond Hill, Canada. Lakeland's